The X-Men have spawned some of Marvel's greatest characters, hands down, but there's truly nobody like Ororo Munroe, aka the Almighty Storm. She went from regular childhood to master underworld pickpocket demon to literal goddess before becoming one of the greatest X-Men of all time. It genuinely makes me so happy that she's been getting all the love she deserves. She still got an ongoing solo comic, she got the almighty Marvel Rivals treatment, she was one of the best parts of X-Men 97, and Marvel Tokon has blessed her too. There is simply no losing for the goddess of the weather. Storm's always been right up there with Nightcrawler as my X-Men GOATs. Who knows, maybe she even shows up in Doomsday. But regardless, Storm truly is the backbone of the X-Men. Storm and Magneto were my introduction to the concept of Omega level mutants, and they're probably the greatest examples of it. They both got two very broad abilities that are capable of planet busting damage. Storm literally controls the weather, like all of it. She's capable of any type of weather related phenomenon and then some. So of course there's the thunder slash lightning slash electricity, super rain, icy blizzards, insane winds, the standard stuff that comes to mind when we think of the weather, which is already cracked and busted. But then there's all the weird weather stuff like insane fog, storms of all kind, literal earthquakes, and I don't know where volcanic phenomena fit into that, but she's probably used some volcanic blasts before too. She is literally the master of all four elements. I'm pretty sure she's capable of producing her own atmospheres, which is crazy. No one person should have all this power, but good thing she's cool and awesome, you feel me? Imagine Storm as a villain, bruh. The whole planet is cooked, frame one. Her abilities are S++ tier, but she's also just really cool as a character. She's all the standard shit like kind and caring and reliable, but being worshipped as a literal goddess definitely boosted her ego a little bit, not gonna lie. Except I don't know if I would even really call it a crazy ego, because she can literally back up all of it. Like, she refers to herself as a goddess, and when you see her literally smite a nigga out his foams, you have no choice but to believe her. Because we're dealing with the medium of superheroes and comic books, it's like a superpower such as the weather almost feels very regular, because the weather is a very regular thing in our everyday lives. But when you think about just how cracked and busted that power truly is, yo, Storm got it. Storm 1 of 1. She's also pretty wise and takes on an older mentor type figure in a lot of the X-Men media I've consumed. In X-Men Evolution, a lot of the fan favorites were aged down to be teens like they were when they were first introduced way back when, but certain characters like Storm and Wolverine stayed as adults in their 30s to sort of be their mentors and teachers, which was such a good decision. I mean, Wolverine literally can't be aged down, of course, but it just makes sense for Storm to stand side by side with Logan and Charles as guides for these teens. X-Men Evolution's always gonna have a special place in my heart for being one of my first introductions to these characters in my main X-Men series growing up. In like my first X-Men video I ever made on this channel, I talked about X-Men Legends Rise of Apocalypse. That game, yo, that was such a formative memory. On PS2, they had like damn near every X-Men character in the known universe in there. They had Blink, they had Forge, they had I'm trying to think of like the most obscure ones I can think of first, but they had a lot of people. Sunfire, they had everybody. They didn't have Sunspot, but they had Sunfire, and so when I seen Sunspot for the first time, I thought Sunspot was Sunfire. I don't think they're the same character though, but regardless, X-Men Legends Rise of Apocalypse was some goat shit. Storm was also in that game, of course, is literally Storm. She's like one of the main X-Men, but her design was a lot closer to the Halle Berry early 2000s type cinematic X-Men Storm design. I watched some Wolverine and the X-Men growing up too, but I could not tell you a single thing about Storm's role in that series. I'm sure she was there, I just don't remember like that. Storm definitely got a ruthless side to her too though. Apparently she was moving like a straight demon in the 80s. But Storm is one of those characters who's really like that, and she knows she really like that. This is not no regular mutant. This is not even no regular Omega level mutant. This is the rain goddess herself. Look, dog, you know you're really like that when you got the wholehearted respect and admiration of Dr. Doom, bruh. This man respects nobody. Storm is likely not coming back for Doomsday, but they're still writing that script while filming, so if they decide to change their minds, I hope she would have fun chemistry with Doom. There probably wouldn't even be a whole lot of time for them to interact though. At this point, I'm just hoping this movie is fun. But isn't it kind of weird that you're bringing the X-Men back and you're like forgetting one of the most important X-Men in Storm? I don't know. I mean, really, they're all probably gonna die anyway, so like maybe it's for the best that Storm's not there. Granted, if we get a live action Storm again, it would be a different Storm anyway, so like they're gonna reboot this shit regardless. Probably, I didn't read the script, I don't know what's happening. Ororo's relationship with Jean in 97 was so wholesome too. That's really her sis for real. Even Magneto respected and admired her off rip in 97. Like, Storm is just one of those characters that's like,
oh, we heard about you, and you really like that.
Like in Marvel Tokon, she has a special intro with Miss Marvel, and she he's like, yo, I done heard about you. And Kamala's like,
what? The leader of the X-Men?
She calls her the leader of the X-Men, by the way.
Has heard of me, Miss Marvel?
And so it's like everybody knows about Storm, and Storm is like one of the most respected characters in Marvel Comics. That's such a beautiful thing to me, I'm not gonna lie. Her fear of tight spaces was always so interesting to me, but it makes so much sense for a character whose abilities are so suited for big open spaces. Like, she's less of a goddess when she's stuck in a shell that cages her true might and sheer overpoweredness. This fear also actually came from how her parents died when she was a small child, so there's a more literal reason for it being there too. My favorite thing ever is when characters who are traditionally really powerful have actual weaknesses, you feel me? It's just not interesting when a motherfucker is just busted and cracked and overpowered and that's it. There's no weakness, you're just like that? What? So I think it's really cool that Storm has such a easily exploitable weakness. I think it's cool that if you know how to beat Storm, you can just trap her in a small space and she's gonna start tweaking out. There has to be balance when you create a character that's that powerful, you know? Seeing her overcome that fear and go from this legendary fit to this even more legendary fit in 97 was so fire too. She looked like she ready to pose for a comic cover too, dog. It's so beautiful. Also, she's literally worthy of wielding Mjolnir. She an automatic goal for that alone. Granted, it would be kind of crazy if she couldn't though. Her weather-based abilities just lend itself to making Mjolnir work. But there's probably hella thunder/lightning-based characters who can't lift it, so her genuinely being worthy still does a lot for her character. Her Asgardian type look is so fire too, dog. Storm with the winged helmet just works so well. I like how this design has changed throughout time too, and Rivals also did it so much justice. This is probably my favorite version of this outfit because it still keeps the DNA of the original design, but it's a lot more armored, which just makes sense. The armored wings are so tough, and the literal storm clouds in her hair are beautiful. NetEase be whipping up the most magnificent skins in the known universe. Please just give us a couple more Storm skins. I don't even play Storm like that, but NetEase, please. Her ultimate Wind Rider skin is so clean too, dude. They gave her locks. Oh my goodness. It's simply peak. It's based on her 6160 Ultimate Universe design, which is so good, dog. It's genuinely such a shame that universe is probably coming to an end soon, unless it already ended. Also, it's so cool that there's a Maker skin in Rivals, and now we have this Ultimate Storm skin, and it's like the Maker literally is responsible for the creation of this version of Storm and the whole universe. That's so cool, bro. Give them an interaction, even though they probably don't interact in the comics, because I don't know, the Maker is not involved in that universe, not like physically. He just made this shit, right? The shorter locks in the front and then the longer ones in the back are fantastic. Go forward. Her default Rivals design is cool and the half braids are neat, but these skins are just too tough. Holy peak. Storm is also tied right up there with Cyclops as the greatest leaders of the X-Men, hands down. In the tier list I got in my head, Charles Xavier is bottom tier, nigga. Respectfully, Charles can go somewhere. Storm right there, Cyclops just a little bit under. Magneto as a leader in 97, Magneto was low-key stepping on shit. I'm not gonna lie, Magneto thoroughly surprised me. But look, Scott Summers is a phenomenal leader, don't get it twisted, but he was groomed to be that, and it low-key ruined his life a little bit, maybe more than a little bit. Storm is just perfect for the role. She also has some of the most interesting ships on the X-Men side of Marvel. Storm and T'Challa just make sense. Two royal goats coming together in matrimony is great. These two are like the definition of a power couple. The power couple. But is it crazy if I say that's kind of boring? No. Maybe boring is kind of crazy, but you expect two esteemed characters like this to be together. Now, Storm and Wolverine is an absolute wild card. Hello? I'm not saying I like these two more than Storm and T'Challa, but it's definitely a wackier pairing that brings a lot of personality out of these two. Storm and Forge was a pairing I didn't even know was a thing before 97. They're like neat together, but I don't know if they got the same chemistry that Logan and T'Challa have with her. But the whole reason I wanted to make this video right now specifically is because I just played the Marvel Tokon beta, and oh my goodness, Storm is Hall of Fame. She genuinely feels so much better than Capcom Storm, respectfully. Hey, look, I love Capcom Storm, I just hate how she plays. Capcom Storm, one of the greatest Storm designs, but dog, her playstyle just never did it for me. I could simply never. But Tokon Storm, perfect. I deadass achieved ultimate flow state with Storm, bruh. I was skating on niggas. I was simply skating on niggas. But yo, when the full game drops, best believe Storm will be on every single team I got. She's simply too goated. Her design is also so tough. Her costume is like an amalgamation of so many beloved Storm feats. She got the white with black accents, the trademark Storm crown, and her hair is so big and it got so much weightlessness to it, it's literally floating with her. Giving her type 4 hair would have been the most goated shit ever, but her current design is still magnificent. Don't get it twisted. I love that her hair is like, it's not pinned straight. It's still very wavy, but the way that it like floats up with her like a literal storm cloud, like her hair is like a cloud. It's not just floating, it's still moving and like, you feel me? Yo, it's so tough. It's so tough. She got gold accents everywhere, which I think every Storm design needs. The lightning bolt earrings and arm bangles are so tough too, dog. Arxis is truly goated at character design. Every single character in Marvel Tokon looks fantastic, and I'm not gonna lie, the highs and lows of Marvel Rivals character design is currently my biggest video of all time. Best believe I'm running it back with Tokon. I'm running it back. Yes. And Storm's alternate colors in this game, like with the black variant, is like the most, not classic X-Men but like the X-Men love wearing black too. And I think that's because of the Fox movies, but like black and gold is such a good secondary X-Men costume design. So Storm having that black and gold alt, magnificent. I want to talk about Tokon Storm more, but maybe I should wait till the full game comes out. I don't know. I just want to play more so bad, dog. I'm already hooked. But Marvel Tokon is already a Game of the Year contender for me personally. I'm not gonna lie. Let me get the full roster. Off the top of my head, I think my personal favorite Storm design of all time is probably her 2024 comic look, bruh. It's elite. Look at her hair, her fits. Holy peak. It's actually impossible to pick just one fit from this whole run. It's just genuinely so nice to see Storm be treated with so much justice. It's just fire. Look. But yeah, shout out Storm and shout out you.
I can't feel my face right now. I'm burning up. I got this feeling that I won't come down. Like, got this feeling that I won't come